This type of shirt is a risk. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Maybe not. Never mind. Hello everybody and welcome back. I hope you guys are doing well, and today we're finally reacting to Lipa's new album, Radical Optimism. Yeah, it's an 11-track album, a relatively short album. I think it's like 37 minutes or something. I have heard snippets of different songs because I think she had like 3 singles come out before the release of the album. So I've heard little bits in there, but I haven't paid attention to them in the hopes of being surprised and having the full meaning when I listen to it for the first time with you guys. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Ooh.
What's it about a kiss that makes you feel like this? Makes me an optimist. When I see your face, who knows, baby, this could be forever.
I just want to point out the fact that the word era has become increasingly popular in the last maybe 2 years. Just before Taylor Swift revealed her Eras tour, I feel like the word era gained a lot of traction. Like, I'm in my... Why was the only example that I could think of whole era? Yeah, it's crazy how the word era has become such a common part of our lexicon, I guess, as a society over the last few years. So everybody's in a different type of era, and clearly she's ready to move from a single era to a coupled era.
Done with the lonely nights, I guess.
Oh, that doubt, I guess.
Come with me. This could be the end of the night.
Okay.
Another girl falls in love. Another girl leaves the club.
An interesting sort of reference or Easter egg is that Don't Start Now, the music video, took place in a dance club, and also part of the song Levitating had sort of like a Studio 54 kind of like a dance club scene in the music video for Levitating. So this is kind of a nice little wink at the fact that she's leaving the club, leaving that era to move on to the next one.
La, 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 la. Here she goes again.
That's quite the introduction to the era. I think that, sonically it's not that far off from her previous project, but it's definitely a change, I feel, in decades. Like, we're talking more about the 90s pop, I feel, in this track and what it's like setting up for the whole album. And I get the whole like radical optimism theme. This makes a lot of sense logically. It's kind of preparing the album for a love story that I don't know where it's gonna go, and I don't know if the order of the songs is gonna reflect the order of the story, but this is, yeah, just a fun like dance club scene, just having fun and being overly optimistic about a love situation, which I feel like is our generation's issue. Like, when we dive in deep real quick. I think that, there was a generation that just did it for convenience and they dove in quick simply for the math of it all, but we dive in for the feelings and the thrill of it all. This is a very representative song for our generation. Okay. Okay and okay. I feel like we're still in a dance club.
Catch me or I go Houdini, I come.
I get it now. I get it. Poof! Disappear like Houdini.
Houdini. Time is passing like a solar eclipse. I'm not here for long. Catch me or I go Houdini. Everything you say is sounding so sweet. Maybe you could be the one to make me stay.
Oh. Ooh. Oh.
Catch me or I go Houdini.
Ooh, I like that the ending had these extra instrumental layers of like the synth and like added elements, because it kind of freshened up. There's a lot of repetition in the song, so you can kind of like quickly get used to it, and the ending makes it like refreshes really the song at the end. I think that was a very judicious decision to make in terms of production. That being said, our girl is playing a little hard to get, isn't she? She's like saying, hey, if you don't take care of it right now, I'ma leave, so you better hurry up, which is very typical of a Leo. This reminds me of the video where like this guy is saying that he's a Libra, and she says that she's a Leo, and he asks if they're compatible, and she's like, no. Like a solid categorical no.
I'm a Libra.
What are you?
I'm a Leo.
Are we compatible?
No.
No.
I'm curious though, this was the first single, so we're gonna go through the album to see whether or not I feel like this was the most fitting song as a opening single to the era. So far, I'm not 100% sold. I think it definitely works as a single, but I'm not sure that's what I would have started with. Or we'll see depending on what's available on the album, of course. Ah, yes, the other single.
It can be hard to tell the difference late at night.
Mmm.
And maybe I don't need to learn my lesson twice.
No, I get it. You don't need to learn the lesson twice. We're grown-ups now. We're what, about the same age, Julie and I? I think she might be a year older than I am, and I get it. This is like, we're getting to the point where we're getting close to 30. Like, we've learned our lessons. We're becoming full-blown adults. Like, we got it. We got it. Thanks. We can wrap up and move on.
Need someone to hold me close, deeper than I've ever known.
Mm.
I need somebody who can go.
Okay.
'Cause training seasons are
I think that's what I had understood in either some videos that I watched or maybe interviews that she did. The reference to training season is the fact that she doesn't want to have to teach any man or any boy how to act, how to be, how to answer her needs. She doesn't want to be the one to mentor people and then see them walk away with all the knowledge and the new skills, and she didn't get the benefit from them. She wants somebody who was already trained, who's already experienced. I mean, from a writing perspective and a conceptual perspective, I like this a lot. Visually, it's a great image in my mind. I think the song so far could have benefited more from play on words with this idea of the gym and like the whole training aspect.
I hope it's realized.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I just want to point out during the, I don't know if it's a verse or the pre-chorus, but really the part right before jumping into the chorus, production-wise, that was an interesting choice to have her sing only parts of the text and then have kind of like a vocal backup, sing most of the lyrics, like I hope, and then it hits me like, and then she comes back arrow. I don't know if there's like, there's a reason for it specifically, if it's like this idea that there's like, you know, like a Greek chorus in the back singing to her, like what her thoughts are. I don't know, and maybe, you know, tilt my head a little bit, just like why that was the choice.
Run when you hear that whistle blow.
Ooh. Oh, this is kind of giving ABBA a little bit. Okay, okay.
Training season's over.
I appreciate the song. In any room, if I were to listen to it, like fully and pay attention, I would definitely enjoy it. If it's just like a purely artistic paying attention to it and like decoding it, as much as it can be catchy, but it's not 100% catchy in my opinion, there was something that could have been done, I think, to like kick it up a notch. I like it, but I'm not 100% sold, which makes me think that there are probably gems in the non-singles songs of the album. Speaking of which, actually, we're heading into these walls, and I think I did see content online referring to the song and how good it was. I was very eager before even starting the video to jump into the song, and I wonder what it has in store. But so far, regarding the first two singles, I'm like, I mean, I love Dua, and she set the bar really, really, really high with her previous album, which I remember came out during the beginning of the pandemic, right around my birthday. It was the album that accompanied me while I was celebrating my birthday on my own. It was pretty sad. I was in a basement living by myself, and you know, whatever. This song, like, I just remember, especially Pretty Please, just listening to Pretty Please while getting a bottle of liquor to drink by myself. Wow, this sounds really, really sad. And yeah, anyway, that album really set a really, really high bar in pop music. And now I'm like, is the curse of the second album applying to the third album in Dua's case? But we're only 3 songs in. I still like the songs so far. We're heading into one that I've heard about. So I think there's a lot of potential there. Oh.
Maybe we should switch careers. 'Cause baby, you know no one beats our poker faces.
Oh. Whoa.
But if these walls could talk, enough,
Ooh. Oh.
you know, you fall.
Oh.
They tell us to
Whoa. Oh, wow. Okay, I I really didn't expect to go in this direction, which sounds like early 2000s guitar pop. This idea of If These Walls Could Talk is really well applied in this one. The concept in the writing is really, really, really smart. I like it a lot. Melodically as well. Okay, this I'm pleasantly surprised. I don't think it would have worked as a single, to be honest, because Dua's built a reputation on catchy pop music, but as a track on the album, I like it a lot.
We call it love but hate it here.
Ooh.
Do we really mean it when we said forever?
I just want to point out that the very first lyrics of this song were really, really smart. Maybe we should switch careers because, baby, you know no one beats our poker faces, referring to she should become an actress because she's able to play it off so well, or they're both able to play it off so well in public. I love how there's like a natural deduction that happens in the lyrics that's not too complicated, doesn't need a lot of background information, but just like 1 + 1 = 2. But I want to say that the verses are really, really short. It's really interesting to me when it's the background vocals that say, they'd say, referring to the walls. It's almost the same background vocals that we heard in the previous track. And it feels like a multi-character album where there is that chorus that kind of like comes in at certain points to add some more context or to voice those walls or voice this logical observation from an omnipresent perspective. I think to me in this song, that application of the technique of having those backup vocals before she sings the main word or words, like I think that's a smart way to apply it in the right context, as opposed to the previous song that was a little more questionable. Her vocal breaks and cracks are always epic. Ooh, I think I would have taken a little longer of a musical either break or like bridge before jumping into the chorus. I mean, I think that production-wise, to me, this is the most interesting because it stands apart from the singles that we've heard and even from the first track, which are, you know, all three of them were more dancey, the dance club type of tracks. And conceptually, it fits really, really well with the whole like Radical Optimism title, where she doesn't want to give in, she doesn't want to give up, she's still like hoping for the best, which just obviously doesn't make sense whatsoever considering how bad the relationship is at this point. I think so far this is my number one. I really feel like the hidden gems are going to be the non-single tracks.
After midnight,
Ooh.
there's a part of me that wants to steal your heart, and a part that tells me no.
That's a brain in the heart debating.
What you doing to me, baby?
Ooh.
Now you're clouding my decisions, got me headed for collision.
Okay. It reminds me a little bit of S Club 7 or S Club. I don't know if you grew up watching the shows or listening to the music, but this is kind of this clubby / late 90s, early 2000s, very heavily disco inspired dance track, really. I like it.
I'm scared to death that you might be the one to change me.
Okay, so I got multiple things to say about this one. I feel like similarly to the other tracks, there's quite a lot of repetition in the lyrics, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It becomes the type of music that you play in the background that you don't pay much attention to be able to have that repeatability. Otherwise, if you're like really paying attention and you're trying to, from an artistic perspective, really decode the songs and dive deep into it, I mean, there's a certain level of depthness that you can't surpass and you just take it as is. Now, I don't mind it, but there's something about it that I'm like, or at least even so far in the album, that I don't want to say lackluster, that's not the right word, but there's something missing. There is a little touch of magic that is just not quite present. I mean, the production is really good, and like, am I going to go back to this album and listen to it? Yeah, and that might be the thing. They might be more like grower songs than instant catchiness. Not that they're not catchy at all, but just not to the same level as we had with the previous album, which once again really set the bar quite high. So I feel like these are going to be growers that over time, as I listen to the album, they're really going to catch on and I'm going to listen to them again and again. But from a first listen perspective, there isn't one that I'm like, well, maybe these walls that I really, really like, but then again, I don't have a gold star for any of them just yet. So I'm hoping that there's going to be at least a few of them coming up in the second half of the album. French exit, français, like me. Oh.
I don't wanna stay till the lights come on. Everybody's holding hands and romancing. But I gotta hit the road.
Okay.
Only way to go is a French exit.
French exit, Villa à l'anglaise.
Hold on a minute. Filet à l'anglaise, which means an English exit. So do they mean the same thing in different languages? And it's like they refer to each other's language in the expression? Because I've never heard filet à l'anglaise before. Because there's also the Irish goodbye. French exit or Irish goodbye, two names for the same act, which is the act of leaving a party or gathering without notifying others and saying proper goodbyes. Filer à l'anglaise. Fuir discrètement, filer en douce. Okay, which means the same thing. So, wow, very international to be honest, this expression.
Everybody's still dancing. And I hate that I'm leaving you stranded.
French exit, c'est la seule solution.
C'est la seule solution. It's the only solution. I do want to point out that, was it like 2 years ago or something? I might have said it in a previous video. I was saying that there would be more and more French influence in music, or at least French language. Most recently, we've had Billie Eilish referred to L'amour de ma vie, and now this song that has a bit of French in it. And I feel like French will become really, really popular in American music. We have had Latin music and Spanish lyrics have its time. There's a certain rise right now for amapiano music and Afro beats, and a bit of Africa is, you know, French speaking as well. So I have a feeling that French is about to really have its moment in American pop music. It's really just a matter of time before we have like French features and more French titles. And when I said it was in Kim Pettras's Problématique album review or reaction that I was referring to this, saying that I had said it before and I was waiting for the French to really come up, which would be amazing because anyway, all this to say that it's kind of cool to see a bit of French in pop music like this. That being said, I don't know. I'm ambivalent when it comes to this song. I don't mind it. I don't think it's my favorite though. I can probably confirm that right now. I wish that the album stuck a bit more to the radical optimism theme, that it really had like almost every track relate to it. I feel like we lost that essence really, really, really quickly. We had it at the very beginning of the album and now we're way too realist and way too logical in our approach and the storytelling. Also, there's a bit of flip-flop between, like, we don't have a straight storyline in this. It's like we're switching between, you know, that first track that was about like being okay with falling in love, and then these tracks are about this not going well and like wanting to break up and walk away. So we kind of, yeah, we really lost that essence, and that's where I'm a little tiny bit disappointed. I was expecting to have more of a solid theme for the album, but then again, I wouldn't skip the song necessarily. In the context of listening to the whole album, I definitely listen to it, but it's not the one I would cherry pick out of the bunch to go back to if I could.
I've been known to miss a red flag. I've been known to put my lover on a pedestal.
A pedestal.
I already know your type, telling me the things I like.
Okay.
Ooh, what you doing?
Okay.
Was a time when that shit might have worked. I already know your type, telling me the things I like.
I think this is my favorite part of the song. I think that's catchy. I like this.
Yeah, I just wanna dance with you, could dance so. You think I'm gonna fall for what you doing? Illusion.
There's a part of me that's like, I like it. I would go back to it. Like, I don't hate it. But there's another part of me that's like, okay, next.
I hallucinate when
Once again, I feel like this is going to be a grower. This is definitely going to be a grower album. It's an on par album, which means it doesn't stand out, but it's not bad. But sometimes when it's bad, it's like so bad that it's good, but it's not that either. I don't know. I mean, with the amount of music I think that we've had this year, I feel like it doesn't have the success and the recognition that it could have because there's a lot of competition on the market. Had it been like in a moment where there wasn't that much competition, it would have obviously soared to the top. I think that having that competition kind of reveals the reality of this album, which is that to me, it's not scoring super high. Like, I think I'm still at a point where I would prefer the first or the second album over this. Not that it's bad, not that I won't listen to it. There's just, I can't pinpoint what's missing to it. And I'm now terrified that Dua's fans are gonna be pissed and I will be thrown tomatoes and rocks. But yeah, because I love Dua. I like her music. I like her discography, and I think she's done amazing music. But yeah, there's something that doesn't connect, I think. Oh, wow.
I know the mind is quick to throw away the moment.
It almost sounds like an Arabic scale, a little bit.
Can we keep falling forever?
Ooh, her voice crack.
And eternity's impossible to measure.
Okay, this one, there's a,
Where we are.
wait.
I wanna know, can you ride through any storm? Can it just keep getting better?
Okay, this is the first track that I'm listening to that really has, at least compared to the other ones, a little more of a twinkle to it. That I'm like, ooh, okay. Here's what I would do. I would rename the song to How Long. That would have been my first single. I would have retouched specifically a little bit of the production to reduce the toms in the chorus because it makes it feel like a Western movie a little bit with like the rhythm. I would have played around to make it a little more, at least make the drum a little less prominent and make it a little more melodic, make it catchier. But there's something about the How Long that it just, to my ear, it distinguishes itself from the rest of the group and also compared to the competition out there. Now, I know that this is maybe not ideal when it comes to live performance because that must require a lot of breath work and quite the pair of lungs to be able to sing that and maintain that, especially if she was looking to do some sort of choreography to go with it. If it wasn't for that, I think that would have been my opening statement for the era. There is something really poetic about it too, like how long can be applied with different meanings. How long can she like have the success that she's had in the past? There's something about it that to me shines a little more than the other ones. This is a very like commercial perspective on it. It's a very business perspective. But yeah, this is the first one that I'm like, okay, now there's something interesting to work with, in my opinion. Let me know what you think, but down below. I'm curious to hear you guys talk on that. Ooh, that's gonna be a very short track ballad, maybe?
In a love that gives up so easily. When it's hard, it will never feel like it's too much.
Yeah, I relate on that.
We used to do anything for love.
Oh. Oh, wow.
Run at first signs of problems. Do anything for love.
Ooh, I like this.
When it hurts, we don't even think to cut it off.
Oh, that could have been a fuller song. I would have definitely taken it. I think I would have made the first part like an interlude and then have it like flow into a longer track of the whole melody. I think the buildup was really cool and I like the idea of the song. I think this is a missed opportunity. That could have really been something. I liked where it was going and it's very, very short. I like the statement that it makes. I like the criticism on society and our generation in terms of love and relationships. I think this had a lot of potential and I'm kind of a little disappointed that it's that short. I don't mean to be too tough on Dua, but yeah, there's a I don't know. I think there's a couple of creative directions and decisions that were made that I might have gone in a different direction if it were up to me.
I've had love, but his is the deepest.
Okay.
Knows how much there is to lose, yeah. Ooh,
Okay.
I owe it to you.
But why?
Maria, I know you're gone, but I feel ya. I know you're somewhere in his heart.
Ooh. Oh.
Deepest affection
Yay.
always comes from a cause. I'm better too from the ones that I've lost.
Oh.
I know you're somewhere in his heart.
See, this track has a lot more storytelling to it. I appreciate that. I like that.
Grateful for all the love you gave. Maria, I know you're gone, but I feel ya. I know you're somewhere in his heart.
Okay, I like the meaning of it. I like the storytelling of it. I like the background that we get from it. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it deserves a spot on the album. And it might not be the catchiest song. I definitely wouldn't make it a single. I think that it's a very solid song in the project. This is the level of depthness that I was expecting as an overall average, I think. And we didn't exactly get that from the other tracks. But I think that this one was on the right path. Funnily enough, while I was listening to the song, I was looking at the cover and trying to make sense of the album cover. And I feel like the shark is really a representation of love. Or it could even be heartbreak, and the sea, the water, is romance and love, and you don't want to be bitten by heartbreak, and this is what you're scared of, and within the whole sea of romantic partners and potential. Now I think I've decoded what the album cover means. I don't even know if that was the intent, but in my mind, I think that's where it is. Shark is heartbreak, sea is romance and love, and how you can easily drown in it, how vast it can be. And there she is in the middle of the ocean facing her fear of heartbreak, and we see that over the course of the album. And I think there could have been a title that could have illustrated that a little more and would have helped us connect the dot and make a lot more sense. And I feel like that would have connected with a lot more people, hence bringing more attention to it. Maybe.
Late on a Tuesday, I saw your picture.
Oh.
I loved you more than I ever knew.
Ooh, this one.
You got everything you deserve.
Oh.
I'm happy for you.
Ooh. Oh, this one. When you love someone so much that when they find the love of their life, you're happy for them anyways. Whoa. This one. This is going to be ranking very high. Maybe possibly number one. I like this one a lot, sonically and the meaning of it.
Even the hard parts are all for the best. You picked up the pieces and then you gave them to somebody else.
Ooh. See, this fits into the whole radical optimism theme. She's happy for him, even though it would generally for anybody cause heartbreak and pain and sadness. She's seeing the light in the situation and she's choosing to be happy and to be optimistic about the whole thing. That one nailed it. I love those production elements and sound effects.
'Cause I'm happy for you.
I love the melancholy of this one. It sounds relieved, but also like nostalgic. Wow. This one, oh, and the environmental effect too. I think this one hit the nail on the head. What I'm understanding now is that basically she decided to go in dance songs, which is similar to what she built her reputation on. Especially the major commercial success that she had was around the singles where it was very dance-y. I think that she should have done a little bit of a 180 on that and used the tracks that were more like this one to really create a brand for this era around a very different sound. I think she wanted to bring it in a different direction, but she didn't go far enough. She didn't commit 100% to that turnaround in terms of sound. And there's tracks that she could have used really were different than her previous project. Whereas I feel like Houdini, Training Season, and Illusion were a little bit too close to what she had commercialized before. All this to say that this track to me really nailed it, and I think it is the perfect ending to the album as well. The placement is ideal. Sonically, I loved what it did and how nostalgic and melancholic it felt. The concept of it was amazing, and I feel like that really connects to the title. If anything, it kind of saves the title for me, because by the end of the album I was like, this title has nothing to do with the rest of the album, but this brings it back in of being overly happy and optimistic. So there's definitely a couple that I want to go back and explore again. Maybe not the entire project, but then again, if I were to listen to the whole entirety of the album, I don't think I would skip one. And definitely there are many tracks I think that will grow on me over time as I listen to them again, but there is a certain absence of like 100% earworms in this album, which I think it's okay, but it would have been better, and I would have been more okay with it if most of the songs had a little bit more depth in them, because there's always this balance between the artistic approach. The more you're artistic, the more complex the work is, the heavier it is, or at least typically, and the more you have to decode it and work to understand it. And then the commerciality, which is basically the simpler it is, the catchier it is, and you're really making music to have commercial success around it and not necessarily an artistic acclaim. I feel like it missed the mark a little bit in both areas at the same time. Usually you trade one for the other. So like Beyonce would be more on the artistic side, Taylor Swift is more on the artistic side, Sabrina Carpenter is much more on the commercial side right now, Ariana Grande is much more on the commercial side. The lyrics and the content, when you analyze the songs, they're not super deep, but the songs are catchy and they're well built. So this is kind of like the trade-off that I feel like Dua's in a weird position on the chart where, or on the graph, I should say specifically, where it kind of misses the mark for the artistic depthness and the commerciality of the album. And I would have changed up the single approach to make more of a difference. I think I might have opened up the era with Happy For You. It really makes a statement, and it would have been really different. And because people were expecting, with great expectations, the first single of the era, I think that would have been a bold and risky move, but I think a move that would have paid off because people would really have grasped onto it being the first new single of the first new era. Anyway, that's my take on the strategy of what I would have modified. But then again, I really enjoyed the album anyway, and I'm going to listen to it again. And you guys will be able to see my ranking down below in the comments and give your opinion. I think that covers it all for this album. So this was my reaction and I guess review at this point, because I made a lot of commentary, of Radical Optimism by Dua Lipa, her third album. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and it didn't bore you too much, because I really went in depth as to what I would change and constructive criticism of it. And yeah, don't forget to leave a comment down below, subscribe if you want to see more like this. Like the video, the rankings down below, so let me know what you thought about the album and if you agree or disagree with my ranking. I'm very happy to exchange with you guys down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! If you wanna... I forgot the title. What was the name of the dance club in New York that was popular in the disco era? I forgot the title of it. Hold on a minute. Jesus, I forgot so many different things. By the way, I just want to point out that the very first lyrics of this song were really, really smart. Maybe we should switch careers, because baby, no one. Okay, so that the origin of this expression would mean to leave like a what the f is a vara? It's somebody who steals, and I forgot. A robber. Yeah, a robber? Is that when you rob someone? A thief! Robber. Okay, both of them apply. I was right. Never mind. Like, I went to see her in concert, and I yeah, with an ex, and that was the most terrible experience I've ever had, and the worst decision of my life, by the way.
Like a solar eclipse.
It's funny that she mentions the solar eclipse because we all had one clearly not too long ago, and I was able to see it with the glasses, and it's actually kind of quick. It doesn't last very long. Filet à l'anglaise. Funny thing is, I'm saying it with a Quebecois accent because I'm from Canada, French part of Canada, and it's a very different accent than the French from France. So if I were to do the French from France, that would be filet à l'anglaise. But I'm from Quebec, so I say filet à l'anglaise.